to you by Safety FM.
There's a fire inside and I just can't hide it. There's a fire inside and I just can't fight it. Ooh. You know I'm coming for you. There's a feeling inside, let it take it over. The past is in the past, wipe it off my shoulder. Ooh. You know I'm coming for you. I was born in the river and the river was wild, washed by the water. I've been baptized. Out of the ashes I rise and like the phoenix. If you try to hold me back, you better believe that I'm catching on fire. My voice is gasoline. I'm catching on fire like you never.
Program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, so true that I almost had no clue that was actually the case. Anyways, how are you? How are you? Yes, those things are important. We need to figure out how you are. Anyways, today is Friday, May the 19th of 2023, day 139th of the year, and only 226 days left to go. Yep, that's how many days are left. That is what's going on. That is what is going on inside of the world, so there is no doubt about that. A lot of stuff going on as we get to hang and bang on this lovely Friday. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about that we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Yep, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big.FM, no doubt about that, as we are doing our stuffo. So don't worry about what the hell is going on inside of that side of the multiverse. So listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm being told immediately that it looks like a video down. And that's okay with me in the world that I live in. I'm not going to lie here, because what we do here is we do video, we do audio, but we are a radio station first before we're anything else. So I am good with that being down. So yes, down is what it sounds like to me, and I'm okay, yay, with that going down on that other side. But we need to talk because it's been a lot of time since we last hung out. It's been about a week or so. So yeah, normally we talk about how it's Freeform Friday and all that stuff. We'll figure that out as we go. If you're not familiar with the show, we are a show that talks about safety in the news and safety. Just kind of the way that we kind of go about the whole thing, though, because that's just kind of the way that it works out. So with that being said, let me tell you this, because I think that this is going to be important to discuss. We talk about everything. We talk a little bit about everything. We talk about safety in the news and safety. Some people like that aspect of it. Some people don't, and that's okay. Just kind of the way that the drawers go from that time to another. So don't worry about it. We will take care of you as we are doing our thingo. Yeah, I did say thingo So there you go. So with that being said, why don't we get into it right away? And apparently there was some moving around while I was gone. So with that being said, why don't we start talking about what is trending?
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I look around for the trends of the ends of the ends, because, that's what I do. I look at the trends. So it's starting off with this. Amateur sleuths where think that they have found the identity of the Zodiac killer. We'll talk about that. Researchers have found that millennia-old architecture designs. Talk about that as we get into the shit list. What else? Britney Spears' marriage is just fine, and someone needs to get Johnny Depp's a toothbrush as soon as possible. We'll talk about that in the hours that go on. Eddie Murphy's in talks to star in a new Pink Panther film, and a documentary about Duggar family cult like religion will air on Prime Video. We'll talk about that as we're getting to casting calls. Also, the NYPD series of events surrounding the traumatizing chase of Prince Harry and Meghan claimed to have been earlier this week defer from the couple as rep initially slated. So we'll talk about that. So there you go. So I don't know. I guess I'll reference this once again. No video today, and I'm fine. And with that being said, we'll probably post it later because I know how people are. Matter of fact, I'll have them post it immediately after this. So we'll even do it on the podcatcher. If you go to our main podcatcher that we use for this show, you'll see it on there. Okay? That's the deal we'll make for today's episode. And then we'll repost it on the socials, or post it on the socials, because you can't repost something that never posted. Right? That's how that works. So there you go. So there you go. Lot of stuff going on. So as we talk about safety in the news, it's okay. We'll bring in some professional broadcasters to come in and do the thing that they do, because why would you not want to do the things that they do? Also, the great part about this is if you want to interact, it's easy to do so by going to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com, and that will get you moving and grooving inside of the multiverse, of the multiplex, the multi-whatever, because that's how it goes. So with that being said, let's bring in the professional broadcasters. Let them tell you about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news.
Is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is reportedly traveling to Japan for the G7 summit. Bloomberg sources say Zelensky will fly on a U.S. military plane to Hiroshima after a stop in Saudi Arabia to address the Arab League summit. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is expected to be a topic of discussion during today's G7 meetings. The Supreme Court says terror-related content on Twitter does not make the social media platform liable for aiding terrorist attacks. Thursday's unanimous decision will have a major impact on claims made by critics that social media platforms should be held accountable for hosting such content. The Walt Disney Company is canceling a $1 billion project in Florida amid an ongoing feud with Governor Ron DeSantis. More from Rory O'Neill.
The long-planned project was supposed to move Disney's Imagineering division from California to Florida, creating about 2,000 jobs with six-figure salaries. Citing what he called changing business conditions, the head of the Disney Parks division, Josh D'Amaro, announced those plans were off. Disney has been in a legal fight with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis that began when the company took a position against legislation that banned the teaching of sexuality to young children. I'm Rory O'Neill.
A hearing is set for today in Massachusetts on prosecutors' request that accused Pentagon leaker Jack Teixeira remain behind bars. Brad Siegel with the latest.
The 21-year-old Air National Guardsman was arrested and charged last month with leaking highly classified military documents. Federal prosecutors say he posted the materials, some of them labeled top secret, to an international community on the chat website Discord. The documents that included information on the war in Ukraine then leaked onto other online platforms. Teixeira has not yet entered a formal plea.
On Wall Street, stock futures are on the rise slightly this morning. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan is calling the U.S. Census Bureau a complete national clown show after their latest estimate said the city lost 8,000 residents from 2021 to 2022.
The Census Bureau is the most incompetent division of the entire federal government.
The population loss means Detroit is now the 29th largest city in the nation, down from 27th. Duggan says DTE Energy has said there are 5,000 more homes in the city using electricity and gas, and the U.S. Postal Service says they're delivering mail to 6,000 more houses in that time. The mayor says he won't stop fighting the Bureau until every Detroiter gets counted. California's legislature is debating a proposal that, if it became law, would provide unemployment benefits to illegal immigrants. Phil Donahue reports. Phil Hewlett reports.
Senate Bill 277 is sponsored by Los Angeles Democrat Maria Elena Durazo. The bill would offer income assistance to individuals she calls unemployed excluded workers who are not eligible for regular state or federal unemployment insurance benefits due to their immigration status. The program would be administered by the Employment Development Department, which is still trying to dig out from losing $40 billion to illegitimate claims during the pandemic. I'm Phil Hewlett.
More Americans are testing positive for marijuana after workplace accidents climbed to record numbers not seen in 25 years. Lisa Taylor with more.
Everybody must get stoned.
A report from Quest Diagnostics shows that 7.3% of workers tested positive after being part of an accident at work in 2022. That's up from 6.7% in 2021, the highest since 1997. General Manager and Vice President for Employer Solutions at Quest, Keith Ward, said that the new data could be a result of changing perceptions of marijuana, possibly putting colleagues at risk.
I'm Michael Kastner.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobile.io. That's mobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, magical might. Well, you know what I was going to say, so there you go. Anyways, it is currently 16 minutes past the top of the hour. Apparently, I can't even talk anymore. As we are hanging out and doing our thing on this lovely Friday. So I have to tell you, I have missed you. I don't ever want it to come across like it's not the case. But geez, was this week a busy week. So yeah. Little event going down that I had to run down to good old Tejas. So it was down in Texas earlier this week, and then that was the gig, doing some Texas stuff down there. And then I was like, I didn't bring the studio stuff. So you and I need to have this agreement where I guess I need to start bringing studio stuff with me as I go on the road, because I know that there's people that listen to this show that like that when we're consistent. So for the next few weeks, unless my voice does something kind of weird, I should be here almost every single day. And if things are going to change, I should give you at least enough advance notice on what the hell's going on. I think that's fair. Do you think that's a fair trade-off for us to do that? So if the answer is yes, shake your head. If the answer is no, then shake your head the other way, and then we'll just kind of go from there. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the shit list real quick, because that's going to be an important part. Amazon's ambitious drone delivery program isn't making the progress that the company had hoped. In January, internal documents suggested that Amazon would use drone fleet to make 10,000 home deliveries on items up to 5 pounds within 30 minutes in the 2 U.S. markets throughout the year. So far, they've made about 100 deliveries. Amazon's and the regulator landscape has changed thanks to the restrictions put in place by the Federal Aviation Administration. This is according to CNBC. So how would you feel about that, by the way? If you see a whole bunch of drones hanging out and delivering stuff, do you start thinking about these dystopian future movies that there's a lot of stuff about in regards of, well, you saw the drone, you saw the thing take off and go from there and all that fun stuff? Just asking a question. I'm just kind of wondering for myself. Anyway, so let's listen to this. Police in Scotland found a black Honda Civic that had recently been reported missing early Wednesday morning when it was left stuck on top of a metal drum in the middle of a roundabout. The officials have no idea who took the car or how it even had the interesting placement. They said that they're asking anyone for a dash cam footage or security camera recordings to help figure out what the hell happened. So there you go. I mean, I guess when we report on stuff, it can get very weird. That one's coming from the BBC, just so you know. And I think that's what we need to talk about, is where exactly I get my sources, my source material, as we talk about this. So there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this. The identity of the Zodiac Killer may have finally been known. A team of sleuths, known as the Case Breakers, who have a history of cracking some of America's most high-profile mysteries, claimed that the FBI has identified an Air Force veteran named Gary Francis Post as a Zodiac killer. The group of the former law enforcement investigator journalist and military intelligence officers told The Sun that FBI whistleblowers revealed that Post has been secretly listed as the Zodiac suspect, FBI headquarters computer, since 2016. Though the FBI says the case is currently open and unresolved, the group claims that they were able to match the weapons a Post gave away to his family and friends prior to his death in 2018 to for some of the murders. They also said that a handful of people who have stated on record that Post is the Zodiac killer. In addition to the alleged Zodiac murders, Post had a criminal history of his own. At one time, he was locked up in California in a mental facility and also served time for assaulting and injuring his wife. As for what happens next, no one appears to really be sure, but at least Americans rest knowing easy that Senator Ted Cruz is not the Zodiac killer. Yep, I said that out loud. It sounds like it.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
What did I say? Okay, so let's kind of break those down. For those unfamiliar with the reference, in 2013, a Twitter account posted about one of Cruz's speeches, writing that in CPAC alert, Ted Cruz is speaking. His speech was titled, "This is the Zodiac Speaking." The joke really took off in 2015 and 2016 after Cruz announced his candidacy for president. History lesson real quick. The Zodiac killer shot, stabbed, and choked the death out of as many as 10 people between 1962 and 1970. Though he claimed, even though that he claimed in an encoded message sent to a newspaper that he had killed a total of 37 people. I mean, I just want to give some retrospect in regards to the information, because why would you not want to do that? I mean, why would you not want to give the breaky achy heart breakdown there about what the hell's going on? I'm just saying. Anyways, researchers in the Middle East say that they have discovered the world's oldest architectural design plans, believed to date back more than 9,000 years. The study calls for the finding of extremely precise description of hunting traps, and they've been used during a Stone Age engraved into stone slabs. The traps were for structurers to help herd wild animals where they could. Where they could, and then more easily trapped and killed them. Even by today's standards, the structures were massive, giant walls spanning up to 3 miles long, correlated animals into giant 13-foot deep pits. But wait, structures like these are not a new discovery. They've been found in sites dating back to the 6,000 years ago, but researchers were impressed at the detail and how thorough the designs were, especially in spatial awareness that was included. So there you go. I don't know. What do you think about it? Like, seriously, like, what is your thought process? There you go. A lot of stuff to think about. So let's continue talking. Family Destination Guides has put together the list of 100 best secret beaches in the United States. So let's go ahead and ruin that shit by continuing to talk about it. The top 2 goes to Oahu Beach in Hawaii at number 2 on the list. In Shell Key Preserve in Florida followed the Lanakiki Beach and Haupaka Beach, both in Hawaii. Rounding the top 5 is Sedge Island in New Jersey. So as of now, FDG determined that its ranking system, and they surveyed about 3,000 adults. So there you go. So if you're a professional wrestling fan, I got some bad news to share with you. Pro wrestler Billy Graham has died. He passed away on Wednesday after a decade of battling an undisclosed health issues, according to his friends and fellow WWE star Ric Flair. Graham was 79 at the time of his passing. So there you go. So thoughts and prayers with the family for sure. If you are not familiar with superstar Billy Graham, I will tell you almost everything that Hulk Hogan has done in regards of his career, in regards of looks and overall, and how the appearance was and persona. Pretty sure that he was heavily inspired by Billy Graham. Anyways, with that being said, let's move forward real quick. Let's bring some John Smalls inside of our life and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Market Beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, May 19th, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets advanced Thursday in hopes the U.S. would reach a debt ceiling agreement soon. The move led the S&P 500 up nearly a full percentage point to reach the highest level in more than 6 months. This new high may attract new buyers and result in another high, but the market is not out of the woods yet. The S&P 500 is trading within a tight range that has capped stocks for over a year. A move up to 4,300 is expected, but more than that is just a guess. Retail earnings are mixed so far. Some are beating expectations. A few are guiding the year higher, but all indicate weakness in the second quarter. The risk for the market is that weakness will linger into the third quarter and result in a downward revision when the second quarter results are released. The takeaway is that the S&P 500 is still in a rolling bear market and could hit the next top at any time. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for the information on what the hell is going on inside of the world of the market. Let's discuss real quick what I was able to find on my side of the equation. The Dow added about 115 points on Thursday to close at 33,535. The S&P added about 39 points to close at 4,198, and the Nasdaq added about 188 points to close at 12,688. West Texas Intermediate closed at $71 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $75 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.53, and Bitcoin slid again on Thursday, down nearly 2%. And trading under $27,000. There was more than 3,710 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Thursday, and more than 105 cancellations. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for a $132 million jackpot or a $68.8 million cash payout. Saturday night's Powerball drawing will be for a $162 million jackpot or a $86.8 million cash payout. So if you're wanting to play the game, now would be the time to do so. Yeah, seriously, do so. Yeah, I said that. You should do so. Anyways, take a listen to this real quick. This might be a little interesting. Spirit Airlines is apologizing after telling a family in Los Angeles that they needed a passport to fly to Puerto Rico. Yeah, take a listen to this.
Marie Torres says she was traveling with her husband and their 2-year-old son last month when she was told they would need passports to go on an international flight. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, and Puerto Ricans are American citizens. Torres says they instead went to the JetBlue counter and were told a passport would not be needed to go to Puerto Rico. Spirit has released a statement saying their agent at LAX was new to the position and misunderstood the ID requirements. I'm Michael Kastner.
Okay, so hold on. Was there not someone else to speak to there? I mean, so this only person was the only person that knew how the hell to get in and out of Puerto Rico? I mean, that sounds kind of a little effed up, if you know what I'm saying there. Anyways, talking about effed up, take a listen to this. Ford Motor Company is recalling over 422,000 SUVs due to a problem with the rear view camera. Brad Siegel has more on what consumers need to know.
The recall affects Ford Explorers and Lincoln Aviators built between 2020 and 2023. Also covered are 2020 through 2022 Lincoln Corsairs. All of those vehicles have the 360-degree rear cameras. Ford says they've received reports of 17 minor accidents. They're working with the supplier to fix the problem. I'm Brad Siegel.
So let's talk about that. 360 rear view camera. 360. How does that go into a rear view? Because doesn't that go all the way to the front view? Think about that for a moment. Think about what is being said there. Yeah, seriously. It's important to think about. Anyways, 28 minutes past the top of the hour. Take a listen to this. Montana governor signed into a law, a bill that makes it illegal for TikTok to operate in the state, setting up a potential legal fight over whether the state can even enforce this law. Aaron Rao has more information.
The Montana law would take effect in January 2024. Proponents claim that the Chinese government could harvest U.S. user data from TikTok and use the platform to push pro-Beijing misinformation. TikTok bans are already in place on government-issued devices in nearly half the states and the U.S. federal government. A legal challenge over the Montana bill could give insight into whether courts would uphold federal efforts aimed at banning TikTok, which has 150 million users in the U.S. A poll from the Wall Street Journal finds that 46% of registered voters support a ban, whereas 35% oppose it. A majority of Republicans are in favor of a U.S. ban on TikTok, compared with just a third of Democrats. Congress members have introduced a bipartisan bill that would ban TikTok nationwide. Aaron Real, NBC News Radio.
Thank you, Aaron Real, for the information in regards to what was going on. What do you think about this? I mean, I don't care about TikTok. I've seen it a couple of times, and I always think it's dumb when somebody actually posts TikToks on another social media platform. It's like, if I didn't want to see the dumb thing in the first place, why do I need to go somewhere else? Or do you sit back for a moment and go, well, if you think about it for a memento, this is a rights violation. I should be able to do whatever the hell I want to do when it comes to those things. I'm just saying, don't hold it against me. Like, seriously, I don't know.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so take a listen to this real quick. Folks in Westchester County in northern New Jersey are waking up this morning to an earthquake. Scott Pringle, well, I guess Scott Pringle had the info, and now the info is gone. So maybe, when we get more info, I guess, we'll talk about it some more. But apparently there was an earthquake this morning, so there you go. Interesting times. Take a listen to this. Chicago is partnering with President Biden's administration on a new initiative to address homelessness. Perry Williams reports.
Deputy Mayor of Education, Youth, and Human Services Jennifer Johnson says the city will work with federal partners to strengthen and accelerate local efforts to move unsheltered people off the streets. She says those who reside on CTA trains also need help.
On our outreach data, the most common unhoused passengers are unsheltered Black men, ages 30 to 51. Many of those residents on the trains have complex needs based on ongoing struggles with chronic homelessness, mental health, or substance abuse.
I'm Perry Williams.
Okay, thank you, Perry Williams, for the information on what the hell is going on, because we definitely need to know those things. There is no doubt about that. So what else? What else is going on inside of the multiplex, the multiverse, and the whatever the hell you want to think about? Take a listen to this real quick. You've heard this before, but click it or ticket. And starting next week, law enforcement will make it a priority. This is actually going down in Virginia.
A new crackdown starts across the DMV next week to make sure people buckle up. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports about half of the traffic deaths in 2021 could have been prevented by wearing a seatbelt. The numbers are roughly the same in Virginia, D.C., and Maryland. Law enforcement agencies will run their annual Click It or Ticket campaign through June 4th, stressing seatbelts save lives. I'm Sarah Bartlett.
Okay, Sarah Bartlett, I feel inspired now that you were talking in regards of what we should do. So let's do this, because even though it is a free form, instead of dropping you into about 5 minutes worth of news, because that's what's going to happen, let's do a main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So it boils down to the same thing over and over and over again. We talk about the stuff that goes on inside of the world, and you just heard Sarah Bartlett talk real quick about click it or ticket. Click it or ticket in regards of what is going on across the nation, even though this is coming directly out of Virginia. Or we can say Washington, D.C. We'll call it Washington, D.C. just for the sake of doing so. But this is the thing that we have to talk about. And we talk about HOP. We talk about human and organizational performance, however you want to word it. And we talk about the importance that these things have of what's going on. Like, seriously, we talk about this because it's so important to be able to move forward inside of the world. And as you look at this particular example, that we are talking about a seatbelt, and if you kind of look over the car industry, you kind of realize that what this is a restraint this is a positioning system for the vehicle. So what they want to do, meaning the car industry, depending what car you have, no matter what it is they want to make sure that they have you restrained in place inside of the vehicle. And you start probably thinking about some of this stuff and goes, hold on, restraints. This feels a little iffy here. And I get that. But what they want to do is hold you in place inside of the car. Because all of the safety systems, and I did say safety systems that are inside of the vehicle, need you to be in that spot for them to be able to function accordingly. I mean, you have to look at this, that there is a manufacturer out there by the name of Volvo that claims that they have a fatality-proof car. Meaning that if you get into a vehicle accident, you will not die because of the accident in their car. Now, I'm not saying that you can't walk into the car, have a heart attack, and die. That's not what they're claiming. But you have to think about this stuff on how interesting it is that a car manufacturer has, well, we'll say the testicular fortitude to say something along those lines. Because when you put that claim out there, you have to really be able to back it up, because people are going to look at data, in regards of what is going on. So as you look at this and have the understanding that the capacity that is built into the system is all based on things that have to happen. So all of the technology that's inside of the car that's there to protect you cannot work properly if they cannot hold you in place. I know, a little bit longer today than what I wanted to go into in that regards to that information, but think about that for a minute. This is the data, this is the information that we're covering to go over how that works inside of the car. And if when you start taking a look at that across the board, what other systems can you think of that one thing has to work for the next one and the next one and the next one? Because once you pop that seatbelt on, it's all going. It's all moving forward in regard to what needs to be done. What do you think? Does it make sense? Do you think that the format that the DMV is going through and the way that they're moving forward with it is the correct way? I understand that this item inside of your vehicle is there to help protect your life. Do you think that if you don't wear it, you should have to get a ticket? Maybe that's the stuff to think about. Because a lot of people will go, I totally disagree with that.
What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM. You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants. Rated R Safety Show coming to you live from the Safety FM studios. Yeah, it's still Friday, May the 19th. This right here, this is Fair with Fire. Okay, you can give it a little stream action coming out of Spotify, YouTube Music, and of course Apple Music. So there you go. Thanks to Fair for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. So there you go. There you go. Let's get back into it because we got a little time. Yeah, a little time left in regards of what is going on. And remember, you can come into hour number 2 and hour number 3 if you'd love to come out to iHeartRadio. Click on the section for Radio Big, and that will get you moving and grooving. You can also go to the website, radiobig.fm, or you can hang out on Safety FM, take a listen to the Sheldon Primus Man in regards to what the hell's going on inside of the world of safety consulting. Anyways, as we move forward, let's talk about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. Not anybody else's lifetime, my lifetime. And that's about my friends at To Right Love on Her Arms. That's To Right Love on Her Arms.
They are there to assist you if you're looking for help. Their website has so much information on things that are going on. So no matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. They can help with addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support resources. So there you go. Anything that you can think of, they have it on their website. All you have to do is go to twloha.com. That's twloha.com and click all the way on the far right on the section that says Find Help. Listen, we all need help sometimes. We should start talking about it because it's that important to discuss. Seriously, give it a thought as we're going through the whole process. There is no doubt about that. Anyways, let's continue talking about some things that are going on inside of the world. By the way, did you know this real quick before we get into it? On the 22nd, it is Canadian Victoria Day holiday. So, okay, you might have a 3-day weekend depending where you're located. Waving to all my Canadian friends that take a listen to this show. I'm always amazed by that. Anyways, if you're looking to go to the movies this weekend and you're wanting to watch a part 10 of a movie, yes, I did say a part 10, well, Dom Toretto and his family confront the most lethal opponent they've ever faced. A terrifying threat from the shadows of the past of the past, who's fueled by revenge and is determined to destroy everything and everyone that Dom loves. Vin Diesel, Jason Momoa, Tyrese Gibson, Michelle Rodriguez, out with Fast X. What happened to Brie Larson? Why isn't she mentioned in here? Just saying. And then that's new for this weekend. Also, Master Gardener is a new one. A meticulous person devoted to his wealthy employer sees chaos enter his life when he is instructed to take on her troubled great niece as an apprentice, unlocking the dark secrets and violent past. So there you go. Anyway, so there you go. That's the movie stuff going on. I don't know. Are you going to go to the movies? I mean, I will tell you, a few days ago, I was talking to one of my kids, and we're talking about the Mario movie. And it was like, hey, we should probably go see the Mario movie. I did not realize that Mario movie is already available for streaming. And I was like, so why the hell would I go to the theater? Wouldn't it be just cheaper at this particular point just to buy the damn thing? I mean, this is me. It's not anybody else's doing. I mean, I'm just saying. Duh. So there you go. Anyways, let's take a look at this real quick. Remember when Gmail address you created, the one that you signed up for a burner account so your main one doesn't get jammed up with spam, or the one that you made because you came up with a cool email address but you never really got around to using it? Well, you better sign in soon because Google has announced that it will start deleting accounts that haven't been inactive for at least 2 years, but you do have a bit of wiggle room. Google said that it will not begin deleting accounts until December. The company plans to send out multiple warning notifications. The first account on the chopping blocks will be those that were created and never revisited by users. And the new policy also will only impact personal accounts, leaving organizations like schools and businesses untouched. The move is intended to prevent security risk after finding the older accounts are more likely to rely on recycled passwords and less likely to employ up-to-date security measures like a two-step verification, which is probably good, or I'd never be able to save it. So I'm not sure if sending multiple warnings to an inactive account is the best approach here, but hey, you do you. Because if I don't use the damn thing and you're emailing it, what is it going to do? Just saying. So take a listen to this real quick. Anyone who has ever had to wear high heels for a length of time knows the struggle is real, and it flat out just hurts your feet. I mean, I'm just saying, well, maybe flat out isn't the right phrase, but you know what I mean here. But now in the UK shoe stores, a company known as Eagle Official has revealed the solution of walking in heels without pain. Clear tape. Yep, a 10-second TikTok clip, more than 10 million views, and a model shares the hack to keep you from wobbling home along with your heels. She suggested taping third and fourth toes together will help you the pressure to improve the comfort. The caption says that the tape helps last longer in the heels for girls so that you can stay grooving around after securing the piggies. And with adhesive, the model straps up the 5-inch super lit lace of the square sculpture stilettos. One commentator agreed that the strategy in writing says the nerves that control the pain from the nerves between the third and the fourth toe. By bringing them together, you're releasing the pressure. So there you go. That's available online to take a look at. I'm going to tell you this. Probably about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago at this point, I discovered what are considered flat shoes. And I'm talking about flat shoes. They're so thin that you think you're touching the earth. So they have no comfort zone, no arch whatsoever. And I will tell you, these have probably been the best shoes I've ever worn in my life. And I shouldn't say the best shoes because I've used multiple brands, but these have been the best concept shoes that I've ever used. I got so hardcore into this that I just tossed every other pair of shoes that I had because I do not believe that you should torture your feet in regard to what the hell's going on. And believe me, if you're in the heel thing, I mean, good for you. I just don't know why you would want to put yourself through that kind of torture.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Anyways, let's continue talking real quick about some other things that are going on inside of the multiverse, the multiplex, and the multi-whatever you want to talk about. So let's do this real quick. It is 50 minutes past the top of the hour. Why don't we get you some motivation for a moment and bring in some John Smalls and him telling you about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Dave. Oscar Wilde said, "Experience is the hardest kind of teacher. It gives you the test first and the lesson afterwards." So true. Experience is an interesting thing. You have no experience until you get a job. But to get the job, you need experience. It's like a catch-22. I encourage people to find something in a similar or related field and then get a starter job there. That will give you some kind of experience. So you can then get the next job that will lead to the right job, because then you will have the experience you need. So get out there and have a great experience getting yourself some experience. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by alessamorgan.com. If you do regular workouts, what is your why? Unless we are professional athletes, most of us work out to quote-unquote stay in shape. And that's an important goal. And there can be a lot more to it. Longevity expert Dr. Peter Attia introduces building a workout framework for your goals for 20 to 30 and 40 years from today. For example, if you're currently in your 40s, what would you like to be able to do in your 70s? For most of us, it will be to play with kids and grandkids, walk or go on a hike, carry bags of groceries, lift a suitcase to an overhead compartment, maintain physical intimacy with your significant other, effortlessly walk a flight of stairs, and many more. In this case, the workout should center around these goals and include strength training, explosive strength, endurance, and movements including stability. For more information, check out alessamorgan.com.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Your thoughts don't have to be based in reality to produce powerful feelings. Let me illustrate. A couple attending a conference where I was preaching couldn't find their 10-year-old daughter. She was supposed to be in their hotel room, but she wasn't. After a frantic search of the hotel grounds, they were convinced she'd been kidnapped. They were nearly beside themselves, thinking she might be raped and murdered. In reality, she was in no danger. She'd just gone to the wrong room by mistake. But that reality did nothing to alleviate their fears as long as they were convinced she had been kidnapped. Lord, help us to bring every thought into obedience to Christ, lest fear overwhelm us. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 53 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out and doing our thingo. No, seriously, our thingo. What else did you think I was going to say? So there you go. There you go. So what else do we have on tap here? Take a listen to this one. Health workers at Los Robles Medical Center in Thousand Oaks are no longer planning to walk out next week. Daniel Martindale has more.
The strike would have started Tuesday and lasted 5 days. Rather than striking, the healthcare workers will be voting on a proposed settlement. The settlement includes a 15% pay raise during the course of the next 3 years and protections for healthcare and education benefits. Healthcare workers at Los Robles Medical Center were among those at 5 HCA hospitals in California threatening to strike. The upcoming vote will involve a total of about 3,000 workers at those 5 hospitals. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, thank you, Daniel Martindale, for the information. The FDA's independent vaccine advisory are recommending that Pfizer vaccine that protects infants from RSV. Take a listen to this from Brian Shook.
In a vote Thursday, the panel unanimously said the vaccine efficacy data was sufficient. RSV, a respiratory infection that causes cold-like symptoms, is common in young children. The single-dose shot would be given to expectant mothers late in their pregnancy and trigger the development of antibodies that are passed on to the fetus. It would then provide protection for about the first 6 months of the baby's life. I'm Brian Shook.
Okay, thank you, Brian Shook, for the information right there as we are talking. Anyways, take a listen to this. Let's take a look around at some things that happened back on this day. So back in 2005, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, which is the 6th movie in the franchise's release. Spoiler alerts. It depicts how Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader and how Luke and Leia were separated and that they were sent into the Jedi, into the exile. Critically panned, but a success nonetheless. It earned about $380 million domestically. That was back in 2005. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, Marshmallow and Larry Wilson and Eleanor Thompson and Sam Smith all turned 31. Alistair Black turns 38. Yo Gotti turns 42. Andrea Prio turns 44. Kim Bierman turns 45, Kevin Garnett 47, and Grace Jones turns 75 today. What else? If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, I always have some of those for you. It's National Pizza Party Day. I think that should be celebrated every day at this point. International Virtual Assistant Day, National Devil Foods Cake Day, and National NASCAR Day. National NASCAR Day. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the multi as we are talking. If you have to take a look at some other things, if you need a joke for today, of course I always have one of those for you. When a woman starts a sentence with, I just find it funny how, there's a 99.9% chance she did not find it funny. Seriously, think about that for a moment. And then if you need a phone starter for today, if a cartoon physics suddenly replaced real physics, what is the first thing you would try? No, what would be the first thing that you would try? And then if you need a conversation for the water cooler, try this. 41% of bridges agree that hold on. Yeah. No, 41% of, I can't even read. 41% of brides agree that this thing is what they get the most nervous about on their wedding day. What is it? The best man's speech. Yeah, that's what they get nervous about. Nervy-irvy. Think about that real quick. Anyways, before I forget, don't forget about the conference that we have going on in Orlando. Conklin Conference, that is. September the 27th through the 29th in Orlando, Florida. Come and hang out with Todd Conklin, Jen Long, Bob Edwards, and Mark Yeston. We'll all be there in Orlando. If you want to come hang out with us for the 3 days, 27th, 28th, and 29th of September. You can find out more information at safetyfm.io. Yes, safetyfm.io. Would love to see you there. I'll be hosting throughout the event. So come hang out and we'll get everything moving and grooving because that is the stuff that we do when we get together. So love to see you there in Orlando. Yeah, that's the Florida one, just in case, if you were wondering. Anyway, so that's going to sum up our time together. Come hang out with me on RadioBig.fm. I'll be there for the next couple hours or so doing the things that we do. Anyways, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison of what lies inside of you. Think about that. So there you go. A lot of stuff. Anyways, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on Monday, God permitting, of course. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.